Duthie just released something else. Etsy have released new attributes. They did this on Friday, but we were kind of busy talking about something else. Check out my video on the new updated listing policies. But yeah, they've updated the attributes, and this isn't normally something I feel the need to talk about, but this one sounds a little bit different. For those of you that don't know, the attributes, however you say it, are things when you're creating a listing on Etsy. Once you've picked the category, then you get the option to pick lots of different things like the size, the color, even the occasion, all sorts of things that are change depending on what category you've picked. So this will only be relevant for certain categories, and I think it's really going to be a good one. I think customers are going to love it when it goes live to customers. It's not going live to customers yet. We'll get into all of that. But I think customers are going to love it. But we're going to have to be very careful if you're going to use this, that you're using it correctly. You don't just add this attribute because you think it sounds kind of cool. Check you're following the Etsy rules, and also check you're following the rules in your country. We don't want to promise something that's illegal. And I think this is one of the ones that could end up, yeah, people could get a bit dodgy on this. So what am I talking about? Let us dive in and have a look. So this is I can't even speak. Introducing new sustainability attributes for listings. Help make it easier for buyers to shop their values. I think this is great. Etsy has said in their trend reports and things that they are seeing people are still looking for reusable, recyclable, all eco green, good products. So it's a good thing to have this. So at Etsy, we believe our marketplace has the power to make a positive impact. We know buyers come to Etsy for that extra special find they can't get anywhere else, and to shop the values that are most important for them. From finding new ways to support creative entrepreneurs to highlighting items made more sustainability from more sustainability sourced materials. I can read out loud. We're working to bring even more consciously minded shoppers to Etsy. That's why we're introducing sustainability attributes, a new optional listing attribute that allows you to indicate if your items are made from environmentally conscious materials or are designed to be reused to reduce waste. We're thrilled to announce that sellers can now add these new attributes to relevant listings. Learn more and how they work here. There's a clickable. We might click on that if we have time. So adding sustainability attributes to relevant listings is the first step in this exciting process. Next, we'll start exploring shopping experiences using these attributes to help buyers more easily find items that contain these characteristics. So I'm guessing there's going to be filters, there's going to be a big screaming button on the homepage. If any of your listings are relevant for this, I would very much recommend getting in and making sure that you have these marked for when this goes live. I think this could be really good for you if it's relevant. We know you take time and care into what you source and make for your customers. Adding sustainability attributes to your listings will help us make it easier to highlight important details about your items, making it easier to connect you with eco-conscious shoppers. We'll keep you updated on these new buyer experiences. For now, shoppers won't see sustainability attributes in your listings. For this initial launch, sustainability attributes will be available in only 4 categories: accessories, clothing, home and living, and jewelry. We plan on expanding their availability over time, so stay tuned. And then Etsy's impact page to show, you could go to that to see how Etsy's committed to a more sustainable future. I mean, it's cool. Look, I'm from the UK. I sound sarcastic no matter what I say, but I do like how they are working towards more sustainability. The electricity Etsy uses in its business is all from renewables, and they're doing their bit. I sound more sarcastic than I mean. This is a good thing. Check out the list of new sustainability attributes below, along with instructions on how to add them. If you're ready to add sustainable attributes, you can head to your listing manager. Right, so here is the important bits, the attributes and definitions, what they're giving us that you can add, and what Etsy mean by these things. This isn't the same as necessarily what you think. So make sure that you are following their rules. So recycled, excuse me, recycled content refers to material that's been recovered or diverted from the waste stream during the manufacturing process or after consumer use and processed back into a new raw material. You'll be required to specify which materials in an item contains recycled content and the percentage of recycled content in the material. You're also required to certify that recycled materials make up at least 50% of the overall item. Please note the certifying body for recycled materials. Here are a few examples of recycled materials. Recycled metal, introducing precious metals. It must be 100% recycled content. So a golden emerald ring, the gold has to be 100% recycled gold with conventional gemstones added in. So recycled glass, it could be melted down recycled glass or repurposed glass, I suppose. A soap dispenser made from 100% recycled glass, but with a standard pump added that isn't necessarily recycled. Recycled paper must contain 100% recycled content and including at least 30% post-consumer recycled content. But you could have a journal made with paper from 70% post-consumer recycled content with a conventional leather cover. Recycled cotton, the blended textiles, the cotton must be at least blended textiles using recycled cotton must have at least 50% recycled cotton in the blend. Recycled polyester, so you can read through all that. And upcycled. Now, I know a lot of people use the term upcycled, so this is what Etsy is defining it as for the attributes. Upcycled refers to a material or item being used in its original form to create something new or of higher value. This is often material or byproduct that was otherwise destined one of these days, forgive me, destined for disposal. Some examples of recycling include single-use packaging sewing together to make tote bags, used glass bottles cut down for jewelry or drinkware, or fabric scraps made into a new apparel item. Sellers should explain in their listing the upcycled process involved in creating the product in a way that's easy for shoppers to understand. Now, this really does. Some people buy an old jumper or a coat and put some applique or something on it. This is sounding far more like you are taking the things and making them into something very completely new, is my reading of that. Reusable. A reusable item is a simple swap for an item that would typically be single use. The reusable item itself isn't necessarily more sustainable, but can contribute to a lower impact lifestyle if used repeatedly in place of the disposable alternative. You should make it clear if the item isn't recyclable or biodegradable just because it's reusable. Reusable bamboo textile items aren't eligible for inclusion at this time. That's weird, but anyway, so we know what reusable is. I'm assuming, I suppose you could make them on Etsy. I'm thinking of a manufactured process there, but something like a metal straw instead of disposable plastic straws. Plastic free. Now, I know there's a lot of needle felters watch this and you're thinking, well, my items are plastic free. No, because it's plastic free refers to an item that would commonly contain or be packaged with plastic components. But those elements have been eliminated. So if the seller notes that a product is plastic free or free of plastic, the product may only have trace amounts of plastic. The product should be made using a more easily recycled or compostable alternative, such as sustainably sourced paper or metal that doesn't pose the same environmental risks as plastic. Replacing single-use plastic for textile components shouldn't be included. Interesting, such as soap wrapped in a cloth bag rather than a plastic wrapper. This attribute applies to product packaging only, not packaging for delivery. So again, I was thinking I have replaced my bubble wrap with the, what's it called? The paper stuff that you pull and it looks really cool. I'll have to remember what that's called. It's very cool. But anyway, I've replaced my bubble wrap, but that doesn't count because that's packaging for delivery, whereas what you wrap a bar of soap in, for it to sit in if you had a bricks and mortar shop or something, or your packaging of what you mount your earrings on, not what you put them in the bag with. Vintage gemstone, so there's going to be a place for that. So it must be at least 20 years old. Organic cotton, that's cool. So yes, make sure you're following the standards for what organic cotton is. Linen. So yes, if it's made from 100% linen, that'll be liked, and 100% hemp. FSC certified wood, organic ingredients, vegan, leaping bunny, ethical gemstones. Now, yes, I had a few people ask about this. Ethical gemstones, including diamonds, require high standards for social and environmental responsibility that go beyond being conflict-free, TM. Note that ethical gemstones don't typically include vintage gemstones due to the lack of supply chain transparency. All gemstones, including diamonds, in or on the item must be ethical in order to claim this attribute. So you couldn't have the main gemstone being ethical, but then just have some little chips around the side kind of thing. Sellers should qualify claims for ethical so customers understand what that label represents in their listing description. So if I'm assuming conflict-free, it's got a TM, so that's a trademark, that's a thing, but it's got to go beyond that. So people were asking, how do you prove that your gemstones are ethical? So yeah, this is it. You're going to have to, Etsy isn't giving us any kind of standard. It's just saying it has to be better than conflict-free, and you should be able to describe in your description why it is. So whatever your suppliers are saying to you, to make it more ethical, and how to add them. When you've added your category, in the listing manager, you'll get a sustainability option if you're in the right category, and that's what it's going to look like. So that's kind of cool. You've got some little boxes, so you can, if it's upcycled and organic cotton and recycled cotton, you can tick more than one box. That's kind of cool. FAQs, this is what everyone wants. How will these new attributes be used? We're working on building a new shopper experience that empowers buyers to shop their values. I'm wondering if there'll just be a section for environmentally consciousness. While adding these attributes now will not affect buyer experiences immediately. So yeah, this isn't coming into force yet, but get it in your listings. We'll keep you updated on our progress as we explore new opportunities like curated shopping experiences for buyers, looking at environmentally conscious items. Adding sustainability attributes to your relevant listings will help us power these experiences. Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea to, if these are relevant, to get in and check your listings. The sooner you get them in, the sooner Etsy can be testing things to decide how it's going to show them. But it's not showing them to buyers just now. But once they get it up and running, I think this will be fairly popular. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I think certainly in the past type of buyers that were attracted to Etsy, that would be very attractive for them. And I think this is Etsy sort of trying to reach that base again, as opposed to the people who are just buying cheap knockoffs that people have bought from Wish and are reselling on Etsy. I know it shouldn't be allowed, but if people are buying them, then it's obviously that's what some of the customers are looking for. But yeah, whatever. What are attributes and why should I use them? Attributes are additional types of information that sellers can provide about their products while creating or editing a listing to help describe what they're selling so that buyers can easily find the just right item. They're created by Etsy based on research into buyer search behavior. In addition to sustainability attributes, there's a host of attributes you can add to your listings. How is Etsy committing to more sustainable practices? Etsy is the first major shopping site to offset 100% of carbon emissions from delivery and packaging of every delivery. Okay, didn't actually know that. We've committed to reaching net zero emissions. Additionally, we've partnered with Eco Enclosed to bring US sellers packaging options made from 100% recycled materials or certified responsibly sourced paper at competitive prices. Yeah, I had a look at that. That was not competitive. Helping you run a more sustainable business. Learn more here. See, if they've discovered ways to help US sellers get packaging options from 100% recycling materials, recycled, not recycling, I think it would be kind of cool to have, like in your shipping, like shipped, hit the mic there, in your shipping, sort of shipped in responsibly or, plastic free packaging and, all these things. I think that buyers would like that. That used to be back in the old days of Etsy, back in my day. But that was a big thing that buyers used to, in your reviews, you'll see if you look at some very old reviews, people didn't just review the item, but they were like extra star because it came in a recycled packaging. And now I feel if I reuse boxes, I have to apologize and tell the customer it's expected that you've got fancy new branded boxes. But in the past, it was very much like recycle your boxes. Everybody loved that. Which categories are the new sustainability attributes available for? They're saying some are more relevant to certain categories than others. For the initial launch, will be available in 4 categories: accessories, clothing, home and living, and jewelry. Going to plan on expanding in the future. Why aren't there more attributes available? For this launch, we've identified 13 total attributes based on buyer research and better eco-conscious practices. Relevant attributes are available based on categories where the materials are commonly used. We plan to add more in time. Yes. Oh, yes, this is one you're going to want. How will we ensure sustainability attributes are accurate? We're relying on sellers to certify that their items are accurately described and as listed. We encourage you to keep a record of your sustainable sourcing process and use the item description to share any details about existing certification your materials may have. We will be reviewing sustainability attributes and working with you to make sure they're in line with our guidelines. We may ask you to share documentation to verify an item's sustainability claims, which may include receipts from buying more sustainable material or official sustainability certifications. So they're saying be good, we're trusting you, and we'll check now and again, basically. Um, but yeah, it's a difficult thing to know the exact guidelines. I would very much everybody make sure that you check the laws in your own country for what it means. Like, there will be certain levels that you're not allowed to say something's organic if it's a certain thing, or look into it. What if a buyer has concerns with the sustainability attributes on my listing? Oh, they will have. You can if you put these things in, customers are going to ask. So make sure that definitely you're good about it. I still try to, but I used to source my wool. Merino wool has a history of not being great in certain countries, so I made sure to source my merino wool from cool, like, less cruel places, good standards of living for the animals. And as soon as I put anything like that in, I got so much hate from vegans, which I was really sad about. I mean, obviously it's wool, but yes, as soon as you start one level of claim, people dig in. Which is a shame, because I was moving to be as good as I can, and I have been buying vegan wools, but it's just not great just now. Um, Sustainability attributes are currently not visible to buyers. In the event a buyer files a case, once they can see your attributes, we may ask for additional documentation. So if the buyer goes, that's not sustainable, then Etsy might check up on you. That makes sense. With the Etsy purchase protection program, we will stand behind your shop if the item matches the listing's description and photos. We'll be monitoring usage of these sustainability attributes to help ensure they're accurate. So if your description says there's something and you can prove there's something, then Etsy has your back there. And sellers may be asked to produce documentation to verify the valid the valid to yeah, so keep hold of your receipts, your documentation. Etsy might ask to check. And this, annoyingly, is the big question that everybody asks. How might adding these new sustainability attributes affect the search ranking of my items? During the initial phase of introducing sustainability attributes as options for your relevant listings, adding them will not affect your search rankings. We need your help first to build up an inventory on Etsy that has these attributes. It's always good to be the first people in. Then we'll be able to work on creating and building new meaningful shopping experiences for buyers. And these attributes could power future search experiences, such as more relevant search results, search filters, and more. Our ultimate goal is get the right item in front of buyers who are looking for eco-conscious options. So, right, yeah, people ask every time something comes out, they just absolutely assume that checking this box will have you rank higher in all searches. And that's not going to be the case. But I can see, as they're saying, there could be search filters. I'm also thinking the personalizations on the search algorithm. So can't speak today. The personalizations could mean if somebody's always been searching for recycled cotton and everything in their searches has sounded a bit eco, when they're searching for face scrubbing cloths or something, even if they don't put the eco-conscious type wording in it or whatever, Etsy might be more likely to show them something that's a bit more eco-conscious because that's what they've been looking for. So I think it's a good thing that if you're taking the steps to make sure that your items contain the more eco-conscious options, you're working harder to get these things because it's something you believe in. So it's kind of cool that it's going to be easier for buyers to find them. I would still look at the minute in time using tags and in your titles for the search terms that buyers are going to be searching for. At the end of the day, if they're searching for an organic cotton face scrubby, then put organic cotton face scrubby in your title if it's organic cotton. Why isn't vintage listed as an attribute? These new sustainability attributes are helping us gather new and different information about your listings. The good news about vintage listings on Etsy is we already have information on these types of items. We know that choosing vintage over brand new ones is more sustainable. Okay, yeah, so that's cool. So, as we begin to explore future eco conscious shopping experiences for buyers, we'll be thinking about the right way to incorporate vintage items. Cool. Okay, a little bit more, and then I will leave it to your chat. General guidance: green or eco-friendly. Sellers should avoid making general environmental benefit claims like green or eco-friendly, and at the very least, sellers should list the specific environmental benefits of their product or processes by which it was made that support these claims. Yeah, don't don't just say it's eco-friendly when it really isn't. Certification and seals of approval. Sellers should describe the specific environmental benefits that a certification or seal represents if it's not immediately clear. Compostable and biodegradable. Sellers shouldn't claim that their items are compostable or biodegradable unless they have competent and reliable scientific evidence that all materials in the item or package will break down and return to nature within 1 year after disposal. If you're not sure that your items meet the criteria, it would be best avoided making these claims. Okay. Oh, look at me saying the things that Etsy does before Etsy say them. Friendly disclaimer. A disclaimer like that is never friendly, is it? It's your responsibility to understand and follow the laws in your jurisdiction when determining and describing and marketing the items you sell on Etsy. If you list a product for sale on Etsy, you must comply with all Etsy policies and legal requirements applicable to those products and product listings, including those in your jurisdiction and to those which you sell. Yeah, check worldwide. Oh, this is getting confusing to ship worldwide. This information is provided for educational purposes only. Yeah, so if you mess up, it's your own fault, and Etsy takes no responsibility. That's their legal team. Friendly disclaimer means the lawyers made us say this. It's subject to change over time and is not legal advice. It's not intended to create It is not intended to create, and a receipt of it doesn't constitute a lawyer-client relationship. Yeah, anyway, stick with the law in your land. Okay, guys, let me know what you think of this. The TLDR of all of that is just basically it's some new attributes. Don't add them unless they're relevant to your items. Check and make sure what relevant to your items actually means. Buyers won't see them. They're not going to make you rank higher in search just by filling them in. But overall, it could be a good thing. I get the feeling that over the next few months and years, Etsy is going to be pushing the fact that it's eco-conscious a bit more. And that will make it stand out from eBay and Amazon and stuff to be able to say we have an eco-conscious lot of sellers. So if it's relevant to you, or when you're looking at a new product line and you think this is a possible thing, maybe look at some different materials and see about this. It doesn't hurt. It's following the right trends and everything. But as always, let me know in the description below what you all think of this. I know you're going to have worries, concerns, ideas, and have spotted things that I didn't spot. So, as well, check in the comments and see what other people are saying, because everybody's like way smarter. Well, all of us together are all way smarter than the sum of our individual parts. There, that sounds better than saying me dumb. Anyway, I look forward to seeing what you think, and yeah, see you next time. Next time Etsy drops something weird at the last minute. See you later.